Basil a great major defeat for Keir Starmer. Regulating U.S. firms with Ofcom will be blocked by Trump administration and Congress. This could lead to major tariffs on UK if Keir Starmer tries to block access to websites. The USA are defending freedom for British people. Thank you. Breaking. U.S. Congress set to block Ofcom from regulating American firms. The White House says this is an anathema to the First Amendment. God, just pick a regular word, people. Major victory for free speech. Keir Starmer is screwed. Trump wins again. Yep. And we have friend of the channel and former guest, Preston Byrne, who's involved with the lawsuit of Ofcom, who said, from my first email to Ofcom on April 14th, 2025, as you can see, they were warned not to poke the bear. Please be advised that your letter and any further correspondence my client receives from you will be sent directly to the White House and the U.S. Congress, both on BCC, where I am advised that staff are both aware of Ofcom's attempts to suppress Americans' free speech rights and deeply alarmed by those efforts. Now, just a quick TLDR on the situation of who he's protecting right now. It's 4chan and Kiwi Farms that Ofcom was trying to go after and fine for ridiculous hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they told him to go pound sand. And now we have the follow-up from Politics UK. New U.S. Congress is set to block Ofcom from regulating American firms, which is a massive win across the board. Preston Byrne continues. The U.S. State Department has confirmed Ofcom and the European Commission's days of censoring American citizens may soon be over. Here's a timeline of progress on U.S. censorship shield law reforms efforts so far, and links to the PrestonByrne.com website. And he says, today, Sarah Rogers, United States Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy, confirmed that the U.S. is poised to forever block foreign censorship of U.S. citizens under laws like the UK Online Safety Act or the EU Digital Services Act. And he links to this Harry Cole. U.S. preparing to legislate to shield against UK Ofcom attempts to regulate U.S. firms. Undersec PD confirms.
That law was enacted because of speech, but it was enacted because of libel tourism in British courts, actually, because your libel standards are different from ours. So people like the Church of Scientology and like crotchety celebrities were suing their enemies in Britain.
Yes.
And we enacted that law that says, even though Britain is our friend and we have a special relationship and our laws have more in common than separates us, your libel judgments are so anathema to the First Amendment that they're not going to be enforced here. And I think clearly these censorship statutes are so anathema to the First Amendment that judgments under them shouldn't be enforced here. And I know there are people on Capitol Hill who agree with that, and I expect to see legislation on that.
It actually went through. Preston Byrne says, FYI, Congress, the Granite Act template we developed will protect American companies from such a ban and allow them to punch back if the UK tries to enforce it against Americans. Quote tweeting the Telegraph, a proposed ban on VPNs in Britain has infuriated officials in Washington. Britain's online censorship is as bad as Iran, says the US. Preston Byrne continues, we're going to get federal Granite Act. My only request to Congress, please, please, please keep the name. We have so much social media buzz built up already, which again is true. And when he even came on the channel, we talked about the Granite Act in great detail. It was an amazing conversation. Highly recommend you guys checking that one out. This is from The Sun. Free speech fury. One of Trump's most senior diplomats blasts labor for authoritarian intentions on free speech in scathing attack. One of America's most senior diplomats has accused Sir Keir Starmer's government of authoritarian intentions and warned they will legislate against Britain regulators' attempt to police the internet. Under Secretary of State Sarah Rogers also cautioned against an expansion of facial recognition technology and AI policing in the UK in light of clampdowns on free speech. This is an absolute chud victory across the board once again. Oh my God, this is amazing. Just think for a second, if Trump was not president, what would be happening right now with planet Earth? Holy crap. The top Trump administration official hit out, the Labor Party has not distinguished itself with advocacy for free speech or sanity on migration. In an astonishing slapdown, she claimed the government, with respect to speech, has telegraphed authoritarian intentions, citing the case of Lucy Conley and more than 12,000 non-crime hate incidents racked up in the last 5 years. Holy shit. Rogers said she would welcome the UK expanding legal protections for free speech like the US First Amendment, saying she would be heartened to learn that the UK had done that. This week, the Home Office unveiled plans to dramatically expand the use of AI and facial recognition powers to catch crooks. But Rogers warned cops must not abuse new tech powers, saying when a government has authoritarian intentions, then a powerful tool can be used for powerful authoritarian ends. Based amid a row with Ofcom over censoring social media firms, the State Department deputy also hit out at the UK regulator, telling The Sun, it's our 250th birthday, and we're going to stand up for our First Amendment rights. And we're going to stand up for the American industry, and we're going to stand up for American political freedoms. Again, this should have been from day one what the response was with how America is. But thankfully, this is the outcome because you never know until it actually happens. Rogers put Britain on notice that new American legislation was coming to shield the U.S. from the powers of Britain's Online Safety Act that is demanding U.S. tech firms take down content that is available in the UK. So she told Harry Cole Saves West, clearly these censorship statutes are so anathema to the First Amendment that judgments under them shouldn't be enforced here. And I know there are people on Capitol Hill who agree with that, and I expect to see legislation on that. Meanwhile, Trump's administration previously slammed Britain for serious restrictions on free speech last year. They cited Lucy Conley's case, the reporting of the Southport attack, as well as recent Online Safety Act policies, content on the internet. Rogers' comments come as Big Brother facial recognition cameras are set for a massive expansion across Britain under a sweeping police shakeup. The number of live scanning vans will go from 10 to 50, giving forces the ability to scan crime hotspots and flag wanted suspects within seconds. Yikes. Which, again, in theory, that sounds like a great thing. In practice, you know they're going to be using it against you and everyone else that isn't doing anything wrong. They need to justify its existence, so they'll keep creating more and more laws to make more and more of them. The fleet will form the backbone of the 141 million tech blitz aimed at freeing thousands of officers from paperwork with new AI tools. Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood warned offenders are using advanced technology in increasingly sophisticated ways, and forces must keep pace. Facing down critics, she reminded MPs new policing tools have always sparked panic. She said 100 years ago, fingerprinting was decried as curtailing our civil liberties. Today, we could not imagine policing without it. I have no doubt the same will prove true of facial recognition technology in the years to come. Wow. Wow. And we'll leave it at this because Preston Byrne was on a good one when he was covering this. Back to his website. He says, cognizant that this will come as a shock to some of you, it's actually the latest in a series of developments over the last 4 months. I summarized these below to get you up to speed. Back October in 2025, Ofcom fines my client 4chan and claims it is entitled to sovereign immunity. And then a couple days later, I published Ofcom's correspondence to 4chan on this blog, which is marked confidential and which Ofcom would prefer not to have been released, which I went over in my conversation with Preston. And then a couple days later, the Granite Act, a foreign censorship shield law, is proposed here by yours truly on this blog. So this is all starting from Preston Byrne. This one dude got this entire thing started and changed the course of history. This is wild what one person could do. 11/2025, Wyoming Granite Act finalized and filed for numbering with the Wyoming legislature, as reported exclusively on this blog. Copies of the Granite Bill are promptly provided to my contacts in the White House, House of Representatives, and the Senate, to whom I've been providing UK and Australian censorship notices all year. December 4th, U.S. Under Secretary of Public Diplomacy Sarah Rogers interviewed GB News, described Ofcom censorship of its clients, all Americans in America with no operational presence outside the U.S. as a non-starter. It is a deal breaker. It is a red line. She adds that a federal censorship shield law is also in consideration for the U.S. House of Representatives. We can keep going through all this, but at the end of the day, fast forward to January 28th, 2026, the U.S. Department of State answers, yes, we will. To the previous day, I asked in the Spectator, will Congress shield the U.S. from foreign attacks on the First Amendment? That is amazing. Huge congratulations to Preston Byrne. Amazing, amazing follow on X, and one hell of a lawyer. He's actually working in conjunction with my lawyer, Ron Coleman, assisting him with the lawsuits dealing with 4chan and Kiwi Farms. It's a small world when it comes down to it. He says, finally, haven't seen the federal bill, so I'm not sure what's in it, but I am amazingly excited. I'm virtually certain there will be a shield. Whether there's also a private right of action, a sword, TBD, but I'm hopeful. So this is what we talked about in our conversation as well with the sword. Basically, like the shield will protect you, but if they add in a sword, it means that you can fight back with the protection that was legislated, meaning that it will scare the UK to dare try to find anyone because there will be massive sanctions placed upon them by law in America if they give the sword to it. So that is something that is TBD. But yeah, overall, a massive, massive victory for freedom of speech. United States, once again, I know it's like the Patriots in football. They're back in the Super Bowl. Again, I know. U.S. is leading the way again to the world. It's like, hey, guys, could you just like not be douchebags and just let people be? Let people live their life? Is it really that hard? Apparently, if you're an authoritarian government, I guess it is. But hey, at least the UK has Amelia now to help them fight back, and that's helping as well. So I'll keep you guys posted if there's any updates from Preston or other parts of this situation. But for now, I'll leave that there. Oh, man. It feels great. It feels great. That was one of those going through that. Is like, I love being in America. I love being an American. Look, I even got the side scrollers USA shirt on tonight. See, fucking love it. USA all the way, baby.